Charleston Pro Bono provides free legal services to low-income residents of Charleston County. In this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I sit down one-on-one with the Executive Director, Alissa Lietzow, one-on-one. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. And listen to this interview later on iHeartRadio. Alissa Lietzow, it is so good to meet you.
Well, it's likewise. Thank you for coming.
Anytime. I'm sitting here in your office at the Charleston Pro Bono Services in downtown Charleston. Obviously, you're the director of this particular organization. And I went on your website just recently, and the numbers are very interesting. 682 cases opened in 2017. 1,661 people you guys helped in 2017. 467 volunteer attorneys. And 2,219 pro bono hours in 2017.
That's right.
When you think of the Charleston Pro Bono Services in 2018, what goes to your mind?
2018 was a great year for us. We expanded services not only by bringing on another full-time attorney who's dedicated to housing-related issues. Nicole was brought to us thanks to a grant from the South Carolina Bar Foundation. And I feel like housing is on everybody's mind these days. It's a hot topic. It's one that's very near and dear to our heart here. And Nicole has had an incredible impact with the cases that she's had. Landlord-tenant cases where she is providing tenants a voice and access to the justice system to fight wrongs, whether it is a wrongful eviction or failure to return a security deposit. And unfortunately, a lot of times we have failure to repair cases. So Nicole has made an incredible impact in 2018. That's in addition to our other staff attorney who is doing family law cases, probate cases, wills trust cases, employment cases, consumer law. So the numbers speak for themselves. We are making a difference. We're making an impact. And I'm really proud of what we've done.
And you touched on it just a second ago. You said this, and this is the mission from your website. Access to justice and legal services builds strong, vibrant communities. How much access do people have to the legal services right now?
So there's a couple things I'd like to make sure we get across. It's a misconception that everybody's entitled to attorneys, and that's just not the case. You think of a criminal case, if you're charged with a crime, regardless of your financial status, you are entitled to an attorney. Everyone knows the Miranda rights. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to you. The same cannot be said for the majority of civil cases, and that's what we do here at Charleston Pro Bono. We are civil cases. So again, that's going to be family law, landlord-tenant housing law, employment law. Perfect examples of probate. You have an elderly couple living on Social Security and one of them passes away. They might not have the money to put down a retainer for a probate attorney to help probate the estate of the loved one that just passed away. And so that's what we do here. We try to bridge that gap and provide attorneys advice and counsel, direct representation to the at-risk, low-income citizens of Charleston County.
And you talk about the strong, vibrant communities. What are they like right now?
I think our community here in Charleston is fabulous. We have a really great partnership between the legal community who is altruistic and wants to give back. They give back the way they can. So some attorneys go as far as taking cases for direct representation. Others provide educational seminars. We do educational seminars throughout Charleston County on an array of topics. Consumer law, immigration law, family law, etc. We also do this with a new partnership with the Charleston County Library.
Right.
It's called Lawyers in the Library, and every month an attorney is in the library free of charge, open to the public, giving advice on procedural information, substantive information on various topics. And so that is a big part of what we do here. We're not just providing in-house services, we are going out into the community and providing legal aid and access to that justice.
And the website goes on to say this: Charleston Pro Bono Services serves the vital legal needs of Charleston's economically disadvantaged. It might be a redundant question, but what are those legal needs right now?
Housing is a big one. Family law, we have a lot with children. We're hearing a lot of cases where children are being placed with DSS, and DSS is getting involved in placing children with what's called kinship caregivers. A perfect example is mom and dad are unable to care for their child for a variety of reasons, and when DSS gets involved, they may place a child with a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle or a close family friend. And then that kinship caregiver needs assistance in getting legal protections, legal rights, so that they can help those children get what they need, whether it's medical, educational. So that's a perfect example of legal needs. If you think about it, the hourly rate that a lot of attorneys are able to charge here in Charleston can vary from, say, $200 an hour up until I've seen $500 an hour. And those attorneys deserve every penny of that. I would not be able to afford those rates. So as you can imagine, many in our community are just essentially shut out from the justice system and being able to access the courts, but for organizations like Charleston Pro Bono Legal Services.
What is the state of the justice system right now in your mind?
So I attended not too long ago an Access to Justice seminar, and I heard a statistic that really stuck with me. And it was that South Carolina, first of all, ranks 50 out of 50 for being able to provide low-income, poverty citizens with access to justice, access to the courts, and that for every 10,000 living in poverty, our state has less than one attorney available to provide those services. So the need is there, the need is critical, and we do what we can. It's all interrelated. If you think about taking a holistic or a wraparound approach to this, a perfect example is medical legal partnerships that come up and trying to make sure that you're addressing not just the symptoms, but the causes. What's actually causing this cycle of, say, homelessness or poverty, and what can we do? An example case that comes to mind is one that our housing attorney recently helped with. It was somebody who was at risk for losing his home as a result of being injured and out of work, something with his licensing, and we've been able to pool resources with other nonprofits, and that is something, Quintin, I got to tell you, working and partnering with other nonprofits is something that we pride ourselves on and we work very hard to do. We were able to help him avoid an eviction and get the licensing that he needed, and he now has a better paying job to the point where he's now making so much money that he doesn't qualify for our services. And that's a success story. Okay. Someone who no longer can qualify is what we're hoping for. People are getting lifted out of poverty.
And when you look at other success stories within the Charleston Pro Bono Legal Services, where does your mind go to?
Oh, there's so many. We had a father who came to us about a year ago concerned about the well-being of his children and with some concerns about a mom who was exposing the children to dangerous and inappropriate content. And with the help of a private attorney who agreed to take the case on pro bono, we were able to actually get him custody of the children, and she had to submit to various testings and education before she could get any sort of visitation back. And so we've essentially helped protect the children in that situation, which I'm a mom of two little boys looking out for kids who really need a voice. That was a great success story.
And you talk about voice. Let me take you to the Art on the Beach, which is a very unique project and organization and event that happens on Sutherland's Island each year. And I know 2019 is going to be especially a big year for you.
That's right. So 2019 is our 20th year doing it. Now, Charleston Pro Bono has been the beneficiary for 4 years. This past year, which happened earlier this month, was our 3rd year that I've actually been involved with planning it. But it's a self-guided home tour on Sullivan's Island where you get to go inside and tour these gorgeous homes. Yes. And then in each home, we have artists set up selling their work. And the artists are going to be, it's a broad category, so we have jewelers and sculptors and painters and photographers. And then in each kitchen we have a chef, chefs from local restaurants and catering companies, hence Art on the Beach, chefs in the kitchen. And it's a lot of fun. 2018 was a record-breaking year for us. We sold out. We sold more tickets, more sponsorships, more art was sold that day. So we had a great year, but I'm already thinking forward to 2019, and we're gonna blow it out of the water.
What is the biggest difference between the first year and the 20th year in your mind when it comes to the Art on the Beach?
Just the growth, exposure, getting the word out there. I no longer really have to explain who we are and what we do.
I'm trying to get there.
People are coming to us and saying we want to get involved. Yes. And again, that's whether it's Art on the Beach or back to Charleston Pro Bono Legal Services. When I first started here, one of the things I really wanted to make sure I did was get our name out there, whether it's on social media, out in the community, working with nonprofit partners. I'm excited that in July of 2018, we were the City of Charleston's Nonprofit of the Month. And then also in 2018, we received 2 honors. One was from Palmetto Community Action Partnership, and the other was from Father to Father. Yeah. And these are just great nonprofit organizations who do amazing work in our community, and just so humbled that they honored us and thanked us for what we were doing. So we have some great partnerships, and I'm really looking forward to 2019.
And obviously, you told me that you're the mother, obviously, of 2 kids.
I am.
When you take off your legal hat, who else are you?
I don't know if I ever take my legal hat off. I am a former president of the Rotary Club of Charleston that meets here every Tuesday downtown Charleston. I am a wife. My husband is wonderful. He works for Scarlett Wilson. He's an assistant solicitor. I am a mother to 2. I'm a boy mom. I've got 2 little boys at home. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm passionate about our community. I'm passionate about helping. And I want to give back. I want to do the most good. And that's what I'd like to. So that's the legacy I want to leave.
And to get back here to the Charleston Pro Bono services, what is your closing statements when it comes to the future of this service?
Closing? Oh, goodness. Look, I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to provide quality services. Now, it should go without saying that Charleston Pro Bono Legal Services, we provide our services at no cost to the client. We don't have an application fee. We don't have any fees that come to us. We don't make any money off the clients that we provide. We are funded solely through grants, whether they are government grants, foundation grants, and fundraising and donations from people in the community who understand the importance of having a legal voice and a legal advocate. And so I want to grow. I want to be able to help more people. We do the best we can with what we've got, but I'm never going to be satisfied. I always want to be asking what's next, who else can we help? And that, again, is going to tie back to the partnerships and who can we work with and how can we provide those wraparound services to do, again, the most good. So I'd like to grow. I'd like to make sure that more in our community know that we exist and that we can help them. We get about 2,000 applications for services every year, and so in order to assist those, I would like to obviously bring on more staff and just get more in the community, especially the legal community, saying, how can I help? If I could take a case for direct rep, let me do that. If I could teach an educational seminar, let me do that. Or you know what, I'm too strapped for time, but here's a donation so that you can then take this money to do good with it. So really there's a multitude of ways that people could support us and give back, whether it's volunteering here, answering phones, preparing documents, meeting with clients. We want to help, and we're here to do that.
That is amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely, it was wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.